All right, good morning, everybody. Ace of Trades here. The Bible says in 1 Chronicles 16:8, "Give thanks unto the Lord, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the people." 1 Chronicles 16:34 says, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever." So I'm thankful to the Lord this day for giving us this day to live and for his mercy that he'll extend to us today. All right, so coming in here, blank screen, just sitting down. It's already past the open in a few minutes. So I'll sit my overnight high, if it lets me, up here. And I'll just, usually what I'll do, just so I don't have to play with this thing, I'll just take it like this. Smaller time frames, I'll usually turn this into array so it just goes out on its own indefinitely. And let's see, where was this? This was the open, so I would probably have my overnight low probably around here. Touching there, touching there, touching there. So what do we have here? We've got this leg down overnight. Get my favorite colors here. And so what I would do is I would copy this and pretty much have two legs down. We would keep an eye on this. This does not look like a trend. Now if this like just plummets, goes down, then we'll look at it as a trend. Right now it just looks like a couple legs down to me, with this second leg being made up of two legs itself. And so the other thing I'd do is I come over here. Let's check our calendar for any impactful news. February 3rd, nothing on the horizon, so nothing to worry about there. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. And we just keep an eye on this. Any kind of short sets up here, not really interested in it because of these lows here that we have to be concerned about price trying to fade back up into the overnight range. Clearly one leg, two legs down. So you get any kind of like pattern set up in this area, you could be getting trapped. Now, if this holds and just, like I said, dumps down, then we'll, we'll see how that reacts. Yes, clearly there are touches here. So if this continues dumping down, usually my channel is going down, I make red. All right, if this keeps coming down here, okay, bounces off our lows. We also have to keep in mind this could just be attempting to hit this measured move. So you just have to be careful. We're not looking for a trade on every single swing. We're just looking for things that fit our criteria and context. We're looking for typically two legs of correction against a trend to get in with the bias. But since we have a couple clicks, get that off. Yeah, sometimes once in a while, I'll just throw a horizontal line up on the measure move just to keep in mind where that's at, as prices continue to push down. So we'll just, I'll leave it there, and I'll pick it up when something interesting happens. So there, we're set up for the morning right now, just a couple minutes in, and I'll talk to you in a little while. All right, everybody, let's do a little update here on what the market's doing today. All right, so I think when I left off last time, we were just right around in this area. So what I see here is, and I am keeping an eye on this current move going on right now. So when we came in this morning, we had one leg down, two legs down. We're looking at this measured move, and you can see how prices tried to react off this measured move. They tried to push higher. And at first I had this downtrend here off these swings, potential downtrend, but again, we have to be aware of trends that are just made up of a couple legs because they might not be wider trends. So we had this at first, and then we tried to push through here. So we had here, here, here. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. So I had it like this, and this was looking like, yep, can't get back down to the lows here. This is, so we have to be just cautious about. And once you get two legs down out of this overnight range, prices are going to want to try to fade up in here. So they tried, and they did hit off this line we had drawn. Then we had this, and we had a break and push down. And so I viewed that as okay right now as a trend, trend break, new low. We tried to push up again and failed. And so then what I did, this doesn't really, help you from a trading standpoint, but you just want to have the structure correct. And we see that move up now is correcting. Now, are we trying to just go over everything? So I extended it like this, and I finally looked at it like that and said, yeah, okay. So we sold off really hard, okay, after that. Drew these two legs down just in case, put the measured move there. So we have this whole structure as a leg down, the break, big push down as the second leg down. But also recognizing this trend is very, very strong. And so we'll likely attempt to make a new low itself because of how strong the trend is, okay, compared to this. We started off, weaker, it was decent, broke, and then we got into this huge trend down. So that broke, and I was looking for something in here, but nothing sets up. You get this one leg up and, little. So this is a trend this way, break, retest to this high, and then it fails down. Makes a new low, and you actually get one leg down, two legs down before it tries to reverse. Nothing, we can't. So we have this here as just as a level of importance because these measured moves often come into play as far as support and resistance. And we can see that we couldn't push up very far through that measured move. We tested it again, pushed back down, and basically made two legs down. Then after the two legs down on the break of this downtrend, we made a attempt to go higher again. So we have this move up, this breaks, new high, fails back down. Okay, so very, very bearish right now at this point. This was interesting here. I was looking at a trade potentially right here, but this finished as just a doji, not very strong doji. So what I was looking at is this pushed up, went into a range, and then pushed up to the high of the range and looked like it was going to fail back down. Here we've got this move up, leg of correction, and we may get something here to go long here. So this failed down again, but notice that these pushes down are failing to make new lows. But every time you had a push down here, new low, this tried to push up, new low, and this was over, new low. This push down after this move up failed, did not create a new low. Pushed up, made it a lower low of this, but still couldn't push down. So you just have to be aware when prices are potentially weakening, watching the highs and the lows. And so when we pushed up here, this is, you can see over the whole day here so far, this is clearly the strongest move up we had. And so I measured that. And so I'd copy something and look for maybe something, another leg up. But this may just in its own right just make a new high here. Now it's not to say we won't continue to head down further after these couple legs play out. So when you get something that when prices reverse very strongly in a very steep trend the other way, and it's forming legs, that's normally what you're just getting a couple legs in the other direction, and then it's going to try to go back the other way. It's just I don't know like what is actually happening in the market, whether it's people just rapidly taking profits and so it's going the other way, and then buyers see it going up above how many ever bars they're seeing on their chart, and so they start buying in. So you have this leg, it's already broken, it's already making a new high. You could just get two big legs up. You could get this push up. Once you make a new high, you could go down. So anytime you get a trend going one way and it makes a new high, there's always potential then it could go the other way. Or this could be, um, the market could be trying to make this measured move first, um, and then, maybe we get like a lower high or something up here at the measured move, so far away from the EMA to kind of take something. This is a nice kind of day if you can find an entry. This is a good day where you could get a decent runner because of how much of space, I guess, how many points the market is taking every time it goes up or goes down. Um, so, you know, if I can find a good swing, even here on this is a good place if this finished better to short to try to take a runner. Because look how, I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points. Not saying you know exactly where it's going to go, so you're going to, but I mean, if you could capture, even half of that, even if you're going to get like 5.6 points on a runner, you may even just stick because this is a range, um, you may be kind of limited to going for like 4 points because of this as a support level. Like this could, bounce here and go up again, back up to this side or whatever. Um, so that's where we're at right now. You know, don't want to be shorting yet because this is bullish here. It looks like this is going to try to turn down. We could still kind of hold this EMA and try to make a second leg up to hit that measured move. So let's just do that. We'll color this. This could be over too. I mean, it's a hugely bearish day right now, and this has already made its new high. So this could very easily, if this falls down through here, this move up could be over, and we could be looking for a short here. So as we pulled back to the EMA, you're getting some buying coming in, but we'll see. Maybe this won't hold. Maybe this will just push up a little bit and then finish red again, go down. Or, like I said, this could be trying for this second leg up. And so if we got some sort of hold in this area, you could be getting this second leg could be made up of one leg, two legs up, and then I would not be afraid as long as we're not having, shorting into a bigger structure. I would not be afraid to try to take a short like off a lower high up here if it would set up. Um, we could draw something like this. I don't think this is a trend. This is just a couple legs, I believe, that are kind of happenstance. You're able to draw something here. This is just not how trends don't usually form like this um, in super clean legs like that. Like you don't usually get a wider trend out of usually kind of wider trends are formed off prices just kind of bouncing back and forth as we go up the trend and not necessarily like zigzagging in big legs. Boom, 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 boom. Like usually it doesn't happen like that. You can even see this touch point is not really holding well. Uptrend break, new high. So we just have to be aware of waiting for things to play out, waiting for some other structure to set up that we may trade. If this could have pulled down here and went like one leg, push up, two legs, I would have been inclined to take a long because expecting this leg up would get retested. But it just kind of got retested on one big push up. So yeah, I'm even going to pull this off here because this is not really fitting well. We'll just kind of watch it. So you could just be getting a little bit of relief here, and we could be, heading back down shortly. We'll just have to wait and see. So on here, do I see any? The only thing I see potentially, it didn't set up very good for me, but I see it, is this right here. So once you have a break, once you have this channel, right? Once it did this and pushed back up, then I'm reassessing, okay? And this fits good enough. Um, so it hits our overnight low and can't get through it, pushes down and makes an attempt here. Then you get this lower high that tries to push back up and closes here. I would have liked it if we didn't have all this stem on this previous bar where this buying came in. I didn't want to get stuck in here and then buyers come in again where they came in before and maybe push this up here and then it goes down. This is just, it's too thin of a failure. Would have liked to see something a little bit bigger to short there, or if this had just closed right here and not made any stem and then pushed up and closed down, I'd be okay with shorting right there, understanding that this is probably now trying to retest these lows. So that's where we're at for now. Um, Looks like this is struggling now to go higher, so this may fail here and push down. I just don't want to short into the EMA there. Um, But yeah, so that's the update for now, as far as what I see. You just have to be aware. When people see the market like doing this, big moves down, this is really where the FOMO comes in, right? Because they see, oh, look at all these points I could have had, and they're just try to jump in anywhere, and you just can't jump in anywhere. You just have to be patient and wait. And so, um, and then you have to be aware, like here's one leg, two legs, and then these are all one leg. Second leg tries to push up here. And, you know, be aware also when we stop making lower lows, when we're making pushes down and it just kind of looks like you're just maybe going sideways, that's typically when the market will try to go in the other direction. Once you start kind of ranging, stop pushing lower, and then you get much stronger pushes up. This was a pretty strong push up, but it couldn't go anywhere. This was a strong push up. They tried to sell it again here in this area. It never, but they couldn't go anywhere. Just the next one was just a very strong bull bar, so we pushed up. So that's all. That's all I have for you now. This looks like this is rolling over again, but we'll just gotta wait and see. We'll look for, I would look for hopefully this makes a stronger push down, clearing this out. Um, you don't want to short here because of this swing here. There may be buyers coming in. But we'd want to see this pushing back down again, nice and strong, and then get some sort of correction back here to get in. So that's what I'd be looking for right now. And if that doesn't show up, then I just sit here. I don't do anything. Um, we don't FOMO into trades. We don't just jump in wherever on any little swing or some nicely printed bar. Um, you just sit and wait for structures to develop and opportunities to present themselves. So that's it for now. I'll catch up again in a little while. Hey everybody, just doing an update here. Okay, when we left last time, we were talking about this leg up. Maybe we get a second leg, something like that. I also said, well, this has made a new high, so we could just reverse given how bearish this day is. And that's exactly what we did. And so when we came down, we got this trend down. Um, so I drew this then. So we got this nice trend down. And again, there's no, see, with the difference between this and something when you've got legs like this, price is just kind of bouncing around in between these lines here, but it's holding well. But there's no clear legs, so this is clearly all one trend down. Okay, it's not like I had a big leg down and then I bounced up and then I had a big leg down and now I'm trying to like fit a channel off it. This is a channel that has formed and prices are bouncing back and forth between the support and resistance of the channel. So what I was looking for here is I was looking for this to break and make some kind of like second attempt which I could get in on. It never does. It breaks here and it just kind of like, falls down. It can't really push through the EMA. Um, so then we get this second leg down. All right. And so I drew this, and there's not, again, what people will do is this is not as dangerous because there's clearly an overshoot here. It doesn't ever fit like off this other side of this channel. Um, so at first I was looking at it like that we got two legs down, but of course I just drew this once we had this hit here and this didn't reverse off this bounce up through, but we just kind of failed off the EMA. Then I put this here and I put this here just as a point of reference. It's not something I'm confident yet about taking any trades off of. Um, and then we kind of moved sideways here. So we had resistance here. We hit that same level and bounced again. But you can clearly see, and earlier we have support and we're bouncing out of that. So you have to be aware about not, being very careful about shorting into this level because people are coming in here and buying. So what I was looking for is I was looking for one leg, two legs, and then I could kind of view this as a two-legged break of this downtrend. Um, Never got there. It tried to push up. It failed. Just wicked into the highs and then pushed down and out. This thing here, this would be and this would be interesting if we were not so bearish. I will not buy something like this when it's so heavily bearish for the day. If we were there was a trade yesterday, the one I missed if you watched that video. There was a trade yesterday where I showed how there was two legs down and the second leg was also made up of two legs, but that day was strongly bullish. So when I get a failed breakout of a range um, like this, and it's super bearish, I'm not going to buy this because this maybe can't even hit through this resistance level, or it was support, but sometimes support turns into resistance. And so it ends up working, but you can see how quickly then it just fails back down because it's so bearish today. So this is not, it's a good pattern setup, but it's not good contextually to buy this, so I wouldn't buy that. However, like I was talking about yesterday, and maybe I'll show that again later in the video. I was talking about yesterday how um, we had these two legs down, and you had kind of like a similar looking setup to this, except that the day was strongly bullish, and then that setup came out of two legs down against a bullish context. So in that scenario, I'm okay with buying that. Here it works too, but it's not good context, so I won't buy that. So that's all we have right now. Um, Price action is kind of slowing down, as you can see. Let's just put this together. So from 10 to 11, we had, this much. And then from now 11 to 12, it slowed down. And I imagine like 12 to 1 is going to be even slower. And, sometimes it picks up in the afternoon. And sometimes the volume just continues to grind down. So that's where we're at right now. We got a lot of downward pressure here. And so there's not really anything to do. You don't want to short into lows, expecting, it's just going to keep pushing out because as soon as you do that, it'll bounce against you and take you out. So we're just going to wait for some other clear context to set up. That's all I got for you right now. I'll talk to you again later. All right, guys, might be looking at a trade here. For two legs back here off this sharp move down.
had this mislabeled apparently. Oh, let's get going here. I'm not sure what is happening here. I have this I got something mislabeled here. I want to try to get this back into profitability here, but I may cancel this. Sorry, I just all canceled. Guys, I'm not sure what in the world I have this labeled as. Oh, I see. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I mean I know what happened. I don't know why I have this set for so many um contracts there. So um I should have canceled out of that immediately when it didn't set up how I was expecting it to set up. Or not set up, but when it didn't, my bars didn't, my what am I trying to say? My contracts didn't um print right. So let's go one. I'm not sure what so I'm gonna stop it here. I gotta check my settings here and see what's going on with that. So unfortunately there um made a third leg up against us. So it looks like it's heading back down where I was expecting it to. Um that's my fault. I should have had that set correctly. So anyway, I'll catch up with you next time I find something worth talking about. I got to check this and then maybe we'll talk about the bigger picture context in a little bit here. All right, take care. All right, everybody, I'm back. I had needed to just check on what I had going on there. I just had I had my contracts, my ATM uh set up incorrectly. That's totally my fault. I had a different number of contracts set there that I was trading, and uh, the auto trader management didn't understand how to um, I guess set that when I was actually using different contracts than um, I had set in the auto trader. And so what happened was um, it so if you watch the trade, as soon as I got real close to that to my target, I moved my stop up to break even plus one. And what happened there is it um it the way that it worked was it set me up for it like stopped me out of like five contracts, but then there wasn't like a stop set. Um like the stop that it had was only for like five contracts even though I was in 10. And so it like only stopped me out of um five of them for some reason, and I had no stop on the rest of it, which I didn't like. So I just canceled out of that for um like I think it amounted to be like a 7 tick loss, or like overall. Um, so I didn't understand what was going on there, so I wanted to pause that and see what happened there. But if I had gone for my typical, I thought this was set up well enough that we were going to get this was going to be the second push down, and we were going to get I was going to get like 2 points on that. And when I got like one tick away, I just thought, let me just move my stop up here and break even +1. And it came back. It didn't hit the 2. Made one more push up and then pushed down where I thought it was going. So I think maybe what it wanted to do was it wanted to like close into that measured move. Um, this happens once in a while. It doesn't typically happen. But anyway, if I had just gone for my normal target, we're out of that trade for our normal profit. But anyway, where were we before this that? So I think what I was explaining before is that we had this down, and then we had let's see. So I was looking for an entry there. It made a second leg down, and then I started drawing something a little bit wider. I was looking for something here out of this range. I think I did talk about this. It never came back and gave us 2 legs. So then I started drawing a wider channel just to keep an eye on it, right? And then we got this push down. I was kind of looking for a second leg up here to get in on, but it never triggered. So, or no, not that never triggered. It never gave us a good setup. It didn't hit this measured move, and it just gave us a crappy entry at the top of the move. So we didn't get anything there. And then this channel's been kind of odd. I've just kind of left it just for some context. Clearly prices are continuing to move down here, even though we're not. It's mostly fitting this channel, even though we're not quite fitting in it on both sides. We're kind of popping out once in a while. That's odd. It does happen sometimes. And on a different time, if you had your bars were printing differently, this could look like a wick here or a wick here. So, we could have. This is still obviously we're still kind of obeying this stuff. So now I'm just continuing to look for shorts, continuing to look for two-legged corrections that will get us a setup. And that's too bad that I had that. I should have. That's just a mental mistake on my part, and that stuff happens once in a while. That's just something you deal with in trading. But anyway, I got it fixed now, so next time I use that bracket, we'll be in good shape. So I'll just give you an update next time. So talk to you soon. All right, everybody, just back for an update here. Probably the last one before the close. So we see we have this big downtrend, and sometimes when you got structures that are just this huge, it doesn't exactly fit so well off both sides, okay? And we got, but clearly we can see that there is a big structure here moving down, and so let's just do that. And then we could view this as a break. So I couldn't get anything really clear off the top. We were trying it like off here and, trying to kind of ignore the punches through. What I finally ended up doing was kind of drawing it off the bottom. Like that's not normally how I draw a downtrend. Normally I start the downtrend off the top, off the peak, and then find the swings. But this time I did it off the bottom. And so I pasted that. That looks like that's, from a big structure standpoint, that looks pretty good. So we have a break here, and then we had 2 pushes down, and then we had a 1 leg up, and maybe we're getting a second leg up, and I will look for maybe a potential short in this area. If we would get like a nice lower high off this area. So maybe what we're getting here is we're getting this downtrend, a 2-legged break potentially, and then this retest for this maybe before the end of the day. We'll see. Now this may not make it up here because it is a huge downward bias. Okay, so it might not make this measured move, but we'll see. That's what we're kind of looking for. So we'll see if we get that. And then later on, or about earlier, I went back then and I found this. and I went back in my I went to my P&L, and what it ended up being is for like 10 contracts, which I'm normally trading. It would have been like it would been $500, which is 4 ticks. So I just put that in there as a 4 tick loss. Again, my own stupid mistake there, mechanical mistake or technical mistake, not having the ATM set for the right contracts that I was using at the time. So um, just how that's something that happened, and not a big deal. But that's kind of what we're looking at for the day. We had this leg and then this leg, and prices are trying to push up, but I think we'll see. I mean, maybe this won't end up retesting or whatever, but that's what from a bigger structure standpoint, that's what we're looking at here. So if you could imagine like this downtrend, and then you had a first attempt, second attempt, and this is uncommon that this happens. I just want to mention this also, okay? This is uncommon that this happens, but it does happen. So I'm not going to pretend like some people do that, the way I'm trading is 100% foolproof, um, and you'll never have a loss if you know what you're doing. You're going to have losses. This is a perfectly good trade. And actually, if I'm going for my normal um, target, then I would have got out there. But in the same respect, I'm still expecting that this would retest, which you can see it does. But for some reason, it pushes up into one more leg and then goes. So that happens sometimes. And, don't make excuse for it. That's just what happens. But yeah, so we don't. I'm not going to pretend like this is. It's a foolproof thing where you're never ever going to lose if you know how you're reading the chart, and then we'll pretend like some bizarre reason. If you have 25, 30 years of experience, that you're going to know not to enter into this trade. Okay, that's not really the case. That's just we're just making excuses for perfectly good trade instead of taking accountability for the trade losing. So, but this is I'll take this trade every day of the week, especially in this context where he has massive bearish bias here. I'll take that all day. So, but you know, this kind of stuff happens. But more often than not, if you hit that, you'll also get a big runner there. You can kind of manage that, and that's also a skill to develop as part of trading, how to manage those runners. But I guess that's all I have for now. Just kind of watching how this is going to play out. This is still trying to push up here. So we'll see. Sometimes this is difficult. Again, when you have a structure that's this big, it's the hardest part is timing an entry. This is right. This is when you have this little 20-point move down and then you get a 10-point correction or whatever. That's the simple part, but it's really difficult when you're dealing with whatever this is, 100 plus point structure to try to, yeah, you can see the moves, right? You can see there's a leg, you can see there's two legs, we can see this is trying to make a second leg, but actually timing when to get into that for like a potential, um, to catch the beginning of that potential second attempt down, quite difficult. Um, but that's all I got for now. We got 45 minutes till the end of the day, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. All right, everybody, let's wrap this up for today. Um, I think whenever I stopped last, I was talking about we were kind of in this area here, and I was looking at this as like a whole trend down, potentially uh, a one leg attempt, and then looking for maybe a second leg attempt. We were kind of watching this measured move here. Um, Prices end up pushing up through that. This ended up turning into uh, a reversal, I guess. So what happened? It's very interesting though. We push up through the measured move, we pull back, and we test the measured move right on the measured move, and then we head off from that. It's kind of going sideways right now. There's nothing I'm interested in taking here with 2 minutes left in the day. So all I had here was this technical loss because of just an error in how I had my my ATM set, I had it set incorrectly. I had it set like I had was the ATM was set for like I was like trading 35 contracts, and I was only using 10 right now. And I'm not exactly sure technically what the platform does. But what happened was, so I was trading 10 contracts, and it seems like it was using the runner. Um, it had like a runner target set, and it didn't have like a stop associated with that. So even though I was only going for like 2 points on my initial, I guess the way it was set up, 5 contracts, it was going to get me out for 2 points, and then I had a runner for another five. Um, I guess when I pulled my stop down, it had all 10 stops got hit when it pulled back. So then what happened was, um, the runner then didn't have uh, a stop on it because all 10 of the contract stops got hit at break even plus one, and so it's just left with a target with no contract with no stop associated with it. And so when I realized what was happening there, um, or I didn't even know exactly what was going on, so I manually canceled out of that, and I think it was I forget how far back. I think I lost like almost 2 points on five of those contracts. So what ended up happening then overall for the 10 contracts, it was like a 4 tick loss. So no big deal. Um, but um, didn't see anything else I liked for today. You had this resulting. This is probably people just closing their short positions for the day, and that's why price is taking off here into the close. So that's pretty much it for the day. I noticed some other traders had some better setups at some entry points I was looking at. Let's just kind of go over the day. So I was talking about this here. Um, and I realized when I watch this on certain devices that if I'm zoomed in too far, it's kind of hard to see. So I'll try to go back over this. So um, really, I talk about how this all played out and how I got this drawing earlier in the video. And then so we had this downtrend, try to fade the range, break, push down. So I was looking for some way to get in on a retest of this push. And so we just kind of went bear. We had 2 legs down. We tried to fade back up. We had this push up and retest of this move. And then that resulted in another strong push down. And then we pushed back into this measured move level. So I had this leg from here. Where'd I have that? Or maybe I had the whole thing down. I can't remember how this got here. I'll have to look at it later. I'm not sure why I have that line there right now. But anyway, how I got that. Because really the measure move is there, then there. Maybe I was measuring this down. I think I was maybe measuring this down to get another leg, and then thought when it was higher that was a measured move and drew a line across. Anyway, seems like that's probably not the case. A couple pushes down, just try to go back up, push down again, and notice how prices could not get past this low. And this is our first real strong attempt to push up. You can see how much stronger that is than any other bullish push. It does get a break. It was in a new high, and at this point I was saying, if we'd have got a couple legs back here to take a trade, then I would have done that. And then we had this downtrend. I was looking for something in here, maybe to pull back, give us a couple legs, and then go down to another measured move. And after we hit that measured move, came up in here, and that's the point. Then I drew this just to kind of watch it. And then we kind of just I struggled to find a larger structure here because it just wasn't nothing was fitting perfectly, but it just kept going down. But I don't see anything in here that's worth trying to take a trade off of until you get this right here. And unfortunately, you know, I talked about that already. So then we push down to the lows. We get this whole structure then breaks, and we get a couple of kind of congested legs down and then pushes back up. I don't see anything here. I'm not going to try to take that higher low when the overall context is so bearish and we're potentially expecting this low to get retested, which it doesn't. But and then we just kind of push up into this channel. I was thinking about maybe when I drew this here, and then that was fitting there pretty good. I was thinking maybe if I get 2 legs down off this measured move, then that would be a good spot to take along, but it never materialized. It just fell right into it and then kind of struggled and finally pushed up, made a higher low and kept pushing a little bit higher. So that's it for today, and we'll hopefully have another video tomorrow. All right, take care.